Lesson 1A, Review 1. 3x equals 9. X is my variable, 3 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. I get x equals 3. Number 2, 8x equals 24. X is my unknown, 8 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. I get x equals 3. This is the same as this. It's cleaner and clearer actually to do our division by putting it underneath. So we get x equals 3. We get the same answer, but as we move forward into the complexity of problems, this is going to work better. Number 3, 12a equals 36. 12 is attached by multiplication to the a, move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. A equals 3. 4, 150 equals 50x. Here's my unknown, x, 50 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. 150 over 50 is 3. Boy, I seem to be getting 3 a lot. It's not always the case. Do number 5. 169 equals 13x. 13 is my coefficient. It's multiplied to x. I want to get x alone. So I divide it to the other side of the equal sign. 169 divided by 13 is 13. It's one of my perfect integer squares. Number 6. 9x equals 3. The 9 is attached to the x by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. 9 is the same as 3 times 3. 3 is the same as 3 times 1. 3 over 3 goes away, and I get 1/3. X is equal to 1/3. Lesson 1A, Review 2. Take a screenshot, try these on your own, and watch me do them. Number 1, 4x equals 8. X is my variable. I want to get it alone. The 4 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. And I get x equals 2. Number 2, 6x equals 24. 6 is attached to x by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Number 3, 13a equals 39. I want to get a alone. The 13 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. 39 divided by 13, I'm thinking 3. 3 times 3, 9. 3 times 1, 3. Perfect. It went in an integer number of times. A equals 3. Number 4, 200 equals 40x. I want to get the x alone. The 40 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. And I'm getting x equals 5. Notice I try to line up my equal signs as I go through the problem. It's going to matter later on when the problems get more complex. Number 5, 81 equals 9x. X is my variable. I want to get it alone. The 9 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. One of my perfect integer square patterns. 81 divided by 9 is 9. Number 6, 8x equals 4. I want to get the x alone. The 8 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. 8 is the same as 4 times 2. 4 is the same as 4 times 1. 4 over 4 is equal to 1. So x is equal to 1/2. Number 7, 24x equals 6. I want to get the x alone. 24 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. I see I'm going to get a fraction less than 1 because the top is smaller than the bottom. 24 is 6 times 4. And this was a 1 up here. The 6's go away, and I have 1/4. Notice in this case, I write my multiplication as a little x, whereas when I had it with the variable, for instance, I just had 24x, and I knew this was multiply. I do this here because when you have numbers only, you need something to separate them. If I wrote just 6, 1, how can you tell if that's 61 or 6 times 1? So we generally use the pushing the number up against the letter or letters up against other letters without any dots or multiplication symbols between them because we understand them to be separate. This, I can't tell it's separate. Number 8. 1,000x equals 1,000. I want to get the x alone. Thousands attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. Cross that out a lot. 1,000 over 1,000. I can actually reduce zeros. So I have 1 over 1 equals 1. X equals 1. Number 9. 0 equals 422r. I want to get the r alone. The 422 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. And I get 0 equals r. Let's see if Lesson 1A, review number 3. Number 1. 6x equals 12. I want to get the x alone. The 6 is attached by multiply. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. I'm getting x equals 2. Number 2. 7x equals 14. I want to get the x alone. The 7 is attached by multiply. Move it by divide to the other side of the equal sign. 14 over 7 is 2. X equals 2. Number 3. 15a equals 45. 15 is attached by multiply. Move it by divide to the other side of the equal sign and eliminate it after you've moved it. 45 over 15 is 3. A is 3. Number 4. 160 equals 40x. I want to get the x alone. The 40 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. After I move it, I get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of the zeros on the end, reducing the zeros. 16 over 4 is 4. 4 equals x. All done. Number 5. 64 equals 8x. Here's my unknown. It's on the right side of the equal sign. I want to get it alone. The 8's attached by multiply. Move it by divide. 64 divided by 8 is 8, my perfect integer square. Number 6. 12x equals 6. I want to get the x alone. It's attached to a 12 by multiply. Move it by divide to the other side of the equal sign. I can see the top is bigger than the bottom here, so this is going to reduce to a number less than 1. 12 is 6 times 2. 6 over 6 go away and leave a 1 in the top, so I'm getting 1/2. X is 1/2. Number 7. 14x equals 7. I want to get the x alone. 14 is attached by multiply. Move it by divide to the other side of the equal sign. 14 is 7 times 2. This is really times 1. 7's go away. I get 1/2. X is 1/2. Number 8. 1.7x equals 1.7. 1.7 is attached by multiply. Move it by divide to the other side of the equal sign. And I'm getting x is equal to 1. Number 9. 0 is equal to 9j. My variable's j, I want to get it alone. 9 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. 0 divided by 9 is still 0. J equals 0. Number 10. 35k equals 4. I want to get the k alone. The 35 is attached by multiply. Move it by divide to the other side of the equal sign. K equals 4 over 35. Lesson 1A, Review 4. Take a screenshot and try these on your own, and then watch me do them. If you get something wrong, repeat the same exact problem again. That's how your brain works. It learns by repeating the same information over and over. Number 1. 8x equals 16. 8 is attached to the x by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. And I'm getting x equals 2. Number 2. 7x equals 42. I want to get the x alone. 7 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. I'm getting x equals 6. Number 3. 11a equals 22. I want to get the a alone. The 11 is attached by multiply. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. And I'm getting a equals 2. Number 4. 180 equals 60x. I want to get the x alone. I'm going to move the 60 by division to the other side of the equal sign. Before I try to divide it out, I'm going to reduce zeros because this is really 18 times 10, and this is really 6 times 10. 10 over 10 equals 1. Now I just have it down to 18 over 6 equals x. 18 divided by 6 is 3. I go through this on my reducing fractions in the fractions section. Number 5. 49 equals 7x. 7 is attached by multiplication. I'm going to move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. 49 divided by 7 is 7. One of my perfect integer squares. Number 6. 16x equals 8. Get the x alone. 16 is attached by multiply. I'm going to move it by divide to the other side of the equal sign. This is going to be an answer less than 1. 16 is 8 times 2. 8 is, of course, 8 times 1. 8 over 8 is equal to 1, and I get 1/2. Number 7. 42x equals 7. I want to get the x alone. 42 is attached by multiply. Move it by divide to the other side of the equal sign. 42 is 7 times 6. 7 over 7 goes away, leaves a 1 in the top. So I'm getting x equals 1/6. Number 8. 0.8x equals 0.8. I want to get the x alone. This is attached by multiply. Move it by divide to the other side of the equal sign, getting x equals 1. Number 9. 0 equals 9w. I want to get the w alone. 9 is attached by multiply. Move by divide to the other side of the equal sign. 0 equals w. Number 10. 34k equals 5. I want to get the k alone. 34 is attached by multiply, so I'm going to move it by divide. At this time, I'm going to write it like this. But see, then I'd actually have to do some math, and it's not in fraction form. So now I'm going to write it in fraction form, and I'm not going to reduce it to decimal because I'm happy with the fraction form. K equals 5 over 34. The link to the next lesson, lesson 1B, where I do the same exact work, but most of my coefficients will be fractions. If you want to move on to that, you can, or you can move on to lesson 2. Lesson 1C is using coefficients, which is more of a high school level, but the technique is exactly the same. So why not try it out? Thanks for watching.